Okay, guys, it is Thoughtful Thursdays. Uh, my favorite morning. Well, I don't know, Monday's my favorite morning too, but Thoughtful Thursdays, we get to bring you guests. And we have Moses here, Dr. Moses McCutcheon. Did I say that right?
McCutcheon, yes.
McCutcheon. Uh, and he will be talking about some really interesting stuff that everybody needs to know, especially if you have children or grandchildren. It is very essential. And before we do that, I'm Carol Henderson and I have Life by Design. I help people to teach, to spiral their lives up, to live their lives better, to make the right choices in their lives to help their lives be better. And so that's one of the things that I do, and I do it on several different levels, spirit, soul, and body. But I want to introduce my gracious, wonderful co-host. And she is Barbara Ellison. So I'll let her tell you what she does and introduce our guest.
Yes. Yeah, I'm Barbara Ellison. I'm a transformational life trainer because, like Carol, I believe that the second half of life can be better than the first. To have the rest of your life be the best of your life. And aging gracefully is not about trying to be a 30-year-old. It's about being your best version of you. And that's why I think it is just so timely that we have Dr. Moses on today, because so many people are coming up to the retirement ages, who Carol and I tend to work with, that they have no idea of who they are outside of their title, or they're in a job that they hate because that's what they were stuck with when they came out of college. That's what we are going to talk about, getting to know what you want to do so that you're not put in that position when you're hitting retirement and you realize you've spent 50 years, 30, 40, 50 years doing something that was not your calling. So, right. Moses, thank you so much for coming on the show, and tell us about you, how you got started. I know a bit of your story, but for our audience, share with us your journey and how you started to do this.
Yes, first of all, thank you all for inviting me to be a part of this. And I think what you're doing is great here, and your message as well need to be heard. Having said that, this journey and this work that I do, I do this work because I experience what I'm teaching. And
we tend to do that.
Yes.
We survive it, so we teach it.
Yes. So what happened is that from an early age, I realized that I should love what I do, but I didn't know specifically what that was. So during my K-12 years, I had learned about 15 to 20 different things. And so when time to go to college, now you need to choose a major. So that's one. And then a minor. So that's 2 out of 20. That's 18 other things that, I'm thinking about, well, how do I do this? Where can I get information about this? And of course, this was a journey, and it took years to make this discovery. And after a great deal of time, I decided to study what it was. Well, first of all, to see if other students and kids had the same problem that I had. And I found out that number, I was not alone. Most kids have this problem, and it has nothing to do with intelligence. I'm sorry. They don't know what it is that they want to be and do after high school, because it's not taught. That's not taught how to do that. So actually, I let parents know that when a child is born, God has already done almost all of his work. His work is complete in that every child is gifted with talents, gifts, their calling, and they have a unique purpose. But that work, we have to do that work. We have to make discovery. So the best gift that a parent can give a child is to help them discover who they are, who they really are, their purpose in life. And once a person is clear about their purpose in life, that's their major. That's the thing that you pursue as a major. It might be a trade, or it might be a regular college degree, but that major. And there are clues as to how to do that. And I teach that process now, so that I don't tell the student, once I teach the process, then the student makes the discovery. So I've had 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade students tell me what it is that they really want to do. One kid I remember said, well, I really want to major in journalism. Now that I know what that is, I really want to be a writer. That's what I want to do. And I said, well, you can pursue that. That's a career. I showed them all the statistics that go with that.
Exactly.
And by the way, about 50% of the students will admit that they don't know. I was in that group. And I was at a high school one day talking to a vice principal about my work. And I said, I want to help every kid like me, meaning that a kid that was struggling with what they were going to major in, what they were going to do in terms of work. I can help all those kids. And she kept looking at me and she said to me, what about the others? And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, what about the others? The others meaning that the other approximate 50% who I thought knew. And I said, well, they know what they want to be or do. I can't help them. I can help them, the other group, because I was a part of that group. But you know, when that principal left, 2 questions came to my mind. One, why did she ask me that question? And 2, what is it do I need to know about that group? Perhaps I don't know.
Great
So
questions.
I put that group, I placed them in a study, and I was shocked. I was surprised. The student came to me and I said, well, wait a minute, that's not what you said you wanted to do. You said you knew, and you said you wanted to do this. He said, yes, I thought I did. I realized I didn't know all of this exists, and I didn't know about this, and I didn't know that I could do this.
Yeah.
So this group,
Exactly.
so this group represents about 47%, which puts the total to 97% of students leaving high school really don't know what they want to be or do.
And we wonder why we've got so many people coming up to retirement age, and
Yes.
they're coming out of retirement. They don't know how to retirement, and within 2 years they are either dead, they're on drugs, or they're alcohol abuse.
Yes,
well,
because
Barbara's always saying we don't know what we don't know.
No.
But
right.
my mom was young. My mom was a teacher. When she was young, they had a thing, and I've forgotten the name of it, but it was like an immersion class. And for 2 weeks, they would just study one thing. 2 weeks study another thing. And 2 weeks study, and they could do as much of it as they wanted. And we did that just kind of by accident when we homeschooled our boys. Like one time we went probably a month doing rockets. And back then you could still set them off in the backyard or in the park, and there weren't all the restrictions. And we built, one of my sons, built rockets and did all that kind of stuff. And so we had an area of that, and we did the basics, but we let them do that and just totally do what they wanted to do to see how much. And I'm so glad to say that you're including trades in that, because so many people nowadays are being forced into a 4-year degree.
Yes.
When maybe that is not their bent and leaning. And in Proverbs it says, train up a child in the way he should go. And that means in their bent and leaning. And when they're old, they won't depart from it.
Right.
So that is so important, to allow kids to think of trades and think of other ways to do things, and not just be forced into a classroom learning situation and being thought of less than because they did a trade. And
Right.
my big thing is, you know, they come out of trade school and they owe little or nothing and they are making 100,000 a year, and they come out of college and they're in debt 50 to 75,000 or
And
more,
they're in
and they're
something that they
making
don't like.
30,000 a year.
And they're doing
Absolutely.
something they don't like.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And so my book, Planning Today for Success Tomorrow, the subtitle is Helping Students Choose Their College or Trade School Major and Career. Okay.
Good.
Because
And you know what, Moses, we'll put that
yes,
in the show notes. Now, do you have an Amazon? Do you have an Amazon?
yes, it's on
Perfect.
Amazon, and then it's also on
Perfect.
my website.
Perfect.
And I also have on my website where any family can go and take a free assessment.
Oh,
It's for
yay.
the assessment for the
you.
family, and it's
Wonderful.
careerguidanceathome.com. And I also have a program because anybody that wants to take advantage of this program, they can. It's affordable. I have another program that's only for the family. That's only $99 for the entire year, and it has all type of career guidance tools that can be used
Cool.
for the family. Okay, and that information is also on careerguidanceathome.com.
Okay,
Yay.
Moses, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
my son runs a bookstore for a whole university, uh,
Yes.
multiple multiple locations. Is that book something that I could get the two of you together and he could carry in his bookstore? Do you have a program for
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
Because
And I have an uh-huh.
and my other two sons homeschool their children, so they have homeschool groups, and you know, so that
Yeah.
might be really good for you to talk to some of them, because
Well,
that's
it's also I do training uh, online and offline. I work as a director of a community development corporation, Bethel, Los Angeles Community Development Corporation, that serves the community. And I have online training for anybody that wants to take the program, regardless of where they are.
Yeah. That's
So
huge.
everything is done and ready. And I also have a new book coming out hopefully next month, certainly before the end of the year. The title is Life Purpose, the Foundation for Success, How to Choose a College or Trade School Major and Career. And it's written for the parents to use for the kids. And also this book starts every chapter with their parents, schools and organizations, with middle and high school students, and they're able to use this book and go through it with the child. Ideal for
Oh,
homeschooling, and that's what I'm targeting the home, because what happens is that there are not enough counselors in the school, and the counselors are not doing the type of thing that I'm doing. So I work with them. If they allow me to, I will work with them in this specific area to help students to choose the right college or trade school major and career.
so this book is really for the junior high school age group.
Yes,
Okay.
but I target. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, so will your new book be more college age, that maybe they read in their first semester or two and can switch their majors while they're still mainly in the basics?
Yes, they can do that, but here is an interesting thing that I discovered. I do longitudinal studies, I do case studies, and one of the things I discovered is, like, for example, if a person is 90 years old, if they have never learned to drive a car, they have to learn the same skills that a 16-year-old would learn to drive that car.
Right.
Okay. So it's the same thing with the career guidance. This targets middle and high school students only because that's the best time to do it. But if you've never had that training,
oh,
and if you're still trying to get clear about your purpose, the book is written in a way that you can do that. And let me share with you what a parent told me. We were giving out, well, I give the books to graduating students at the church. And when this book was being published, the hardcover was being published, and this father said, well, I want to purchase a hard cover of the book. And he purchased the book. And later I saw his son, and I asked his son, I said, how is the book? Has the book helped you? And he looked at me strange, like he didn't know what I was talking about. I said, oh, that's all right. I'll talk to your father. I have two sons in college, and I said, I didn't know about the other, but I knew about the one that we give scholarships to. So he said to me, he said, I used the book as a guide to coach my students in the program. So he didn't share the book with them. He was using the book because the book is written, dear parents, and is written as a tool that can be used. And the reason why I wrote the book like this is that most parents, almost all parents, were not taught this themselves.
Right.
So when they read it, they bring a lot of experience with them, and so they'll understand right away. And a lot of people ask me, say, where were you when I was going through school? Of course, my response is always, well, I was learning this myself because I had to learn this. I came into this because I had a need for it.
Right.
So he was using it to help his kids, and a lot of parents. And in the new book, I have many of those testimonials in the new books that the parents talk about how they use this particular book. And that was the intended purpose, for them to be able to use the book, because I know most of them didn't have the training, just like I didn't have the training.
Right.
And this book is designed to do that while they work with the kids. The kids doesn't know that they haven't had the training. Yeah.
Now, okay, that brings to mind a question. Say you have somebody that is in love.
I think they froze.
It has nothing to do with intelligence.
Yeah.
They have not been taught this, and it has nothing again to do with intelligence. If they were taught it, they would know it, but they haven't been taught it. So then they get stuck in these various careers. So they can start this with this book at any age, and the second book goes through the process and is designed now to implement the plan that developed from this book. So they build upon each other.
Right.
And it's all written in the School of Success series.
Yeah. Well, that's like Carol and I, we were talking this morning and we happen to be talking about money and money management and money.
Yes.
How many people you didn't talk about money. You didn't talk about money management. You didn't talk about, wealth building activities.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the same thing. That you don't talk about it. It's like, and you let a kid decide who has absolutely no clue of life experiences.
Right.
Well, and we sit there and parents will tell their children, you can grow up to be anything that you want to be. You're in America. You can do anything. Well, that's not true. I mean, God has a plan for their life, and for them to be healthy and happy, they need to follow that plan. I mean, if God calls you to be a plumber, you're not going to be happy as a banker, and vice versa.
Right.
It takes a special person to be a plumber and dig in all they do.
My mission is community and career development, helping underserved families with K-12 for pre-K through 12th grade and adults struggling with indecision about life, school, and work, and how to choose a college or trade school major and career. One of the things to remember about the audience you serve is that they retire, okay? So they've had a career. Now, at this point, they're starting
And it's
over.
the same.
So now, where are you? What are you going to do now?
Exactly.
Yes. And so this program teaches people how to discover and use their life purpose as a tool to choose their career.
Right. Wow.
And if you think about it, your career is work. And that's how people spend most of their time.
Right.
Working at least 5 days out of every 7, and many people more time than that, 7 out of 7. So if you are not doing something that you love during that time, which resonates with your life purpose, then it's stressful. And people deal with stress in different ways. Some drink, some smoke, some get on drugs, some they do different things
all the time.
Yes.
Or sleep, yeah.
Or shop.
Yes.
Right. Wow. That just, I'm gonna have to get the book.
I know. I'm sitting there
because
thinking, there's a coach here in my hometown that has boys, and some of them are not on the higher income level. And he likes to help them do things, and this would be great for them. Maybe talk to my son. I have, one grandchild that just started college this fall, and things to find out for him. So
and so it's never too late. So this book can be used at any age, because it's like the driving schools that I mentioned.
Right.
A kid at age 16, they've never learned to drive, and then a person who's older. That's what I meant to say. A person who's older, who has never learned to drive, they have to learn the same skills that the 16-year-old learned.
A friend of mine had to learn to drive when she was like something, I can't remember what happened, the details of, but she had to learn how to drive, and she was like, and she had never driven.
Right.
And I think she was like 47 or something.
Yes.
And she was in a class with all these teeny boppers.
Yeah. The thing with this, though, is that this is designed so that nobody but you know that you are learning it. That's
right.
Yeah, because so if a person that's 90 years old, when they read it, they'll know it makes sense, because now the advantage that the person has that's older, they have experience. They've already been in the workplace. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Well, be sure to send us all your links so we can put them in the show notes, because this is fascinating. I think it's well needed, very, very timely, especially as people are changing their careers because of the shutdown. So many people are having to start all over. They had a career, even a career they were happy in, and now they don't. And so, so much has changed. So please do get that to us so we can get it to our people. And it has been great having you on. I really, really appreciate it. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And and Moses, just take one more opportunity to say your website, just in case somebody if
they want to write it down.
Yes,
they can write it down.
Yes. www.careerguidanceathome.com.
Perfect.
www.careerguidanceathome.com. And almost the first thing you're going to see is the free assessment that you can take. Perfect. And I encourage every member of the family to take the assessment, because it reaches them wherever they are, and it helps them to determine where they are now in relationship to where they want to be or think they want to be.
Okay, cool. www.careerguidanceathome.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Yes.
Great. Thank
Yes.
you
Moses, thank you
so
so
much.
much.
And you are welcome. And I have another website with just the books is Dr Moses McCutcheon You can go there too for those who are purchasing books. And of course, I have things that are free because I want everybody to be able to take advantage of this training.
Right.
Okay, so the free ones are on the Dr. Moses, or are they on the?
They're on the careerguidanceathome.com.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Moses. We appreciate you coming on and educating us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Oh,
Yeah.
guys, thank you for coming on to another Thoughtful Thursdays. Please share and tell your friends about us because we bring some really, really good people on here.
Yep.
Bye.